Welcome to another edition of the Nightly Nugent. And you know what, Ted? I am anxious to hear what you have to say today. You gave me a little taste of this idea yesterday. You believe something big is coming. You have a bold prediction. And I think our listeners and our viewers who every night wait for this to hear your take on current events, your take on issues, boy, to get a prediction from you, I guarantee you they're out there listening tonight. So what's on your mind, my friend?
Well, I have a crystal ball. It's called paying attention to the world around you. You know, I'm not omniscient, but I certainly aspire to be. And because I've been clean and sober for 74 years, I'll be 74 in another month or so. I pay attention because I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a grandfather, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a band leader, I'm a guide, I'm an outfitter, I'm a farmer, I'm a rancher, I'm a cop, I'm a race car driver, I'm a New York Times bestselling author. Wow, what a gig! My point is that when you pay attention to the world around you and really catalog the evidence that we witness and hear redundantly, I mean, just over and over again, the distrustworthiness of every alphabet soup bureaucracy in the government of the United States of America, epitomized by the dishonesty and the slobbering and the stumbling and the buffoonery of so-called President Joe Biden. He declared he was going to destroy the Nordic pipeline. He declared he was going to hurt, Russia because we have more of a responsibility to the borders in Ukraine than we do the United States of America. I mean, everything from the White House right now is just glaringly treasonous and bad for America. I believe that Joe Biden and his corrupt military failed leadership, because I know real military leadership and there's none there right now, or they'd stand up and stop this guy. And they certainly wouldn't have blown up the natural gas pipeline from Russia, which I believe that that's what they did. I believe the Democrat Party is so drunk on power and the abuse of power that they will go to a nuclear event prior to the midterm elections to stop the midterm elections. Now, that is outrageous and bold, but if I were to look at you in Nuremberg in 1928, or was it 28 and 29, and said, Keith, they're going to put the Jews on the train, tell them they're going to a shower, and they're going to gas and kill 6 million of them. You'd have looked at me and go, well, that's outrageous. No one would do that. Certainly mankind would never do that to their fellow man. Good morning, America. You might want to look up the Rape of Nanking, maybe the Trail of Tears, maybe the Bataan Death March, maybe the Branch Davidian, maybe Ruby Ridge. Oh, Nugent's a conspiracy theory. No, Vicky's dead. Well, Nugent's a radical. Yeah, I'm a radical because I dare to experiment in self-government. I believe that this insane, evil, power-abusing monster in the White House will obey the immoral and the oath-violating America human-violating command to create a nuclear event because we're blindsided by China and Russia, and our military is getting weaker by the day as we're scrambling to make maternity outfits for jet fighters. This is absolutely the ugliest chapter in American history, and I believe that they would go to that outrageous length to halt the midterm elections because there's such unbelievable, unprecedented support for Donald J. Trump as a deep state exposer, a spotlighter of cockroaches, and a true conservative and constitutionalist. And that drives the left and the Democrats crazy, and they are so rotten to the core. I believe that they will use a real tragedy and there will be innocent lives lost just to stop a legal election. These are treacherous days, and we better be ready to raise some hell right now, every day, and make sure that real midterm elections happen and that they're legal.
Wow. I guarantee you, Ted, our listeners, much like myself right now, almost somewhat speechless with that bold prediction. But I will point out just a few things and get your final take. Putin gave a speech at the end of last week, Ted, where he basically said the United States is promoting everything that's bad in the world, anti-nuclear family, allowing unfettered immigration. I mean, and everyone just wrote that off as Putin being maniacal. But there were some things in there that resonated to me and some of our listeners. What's your final take on all this, Ted?
Yes, I'm afraid that the rotten dictator tyrant of Russia, Putin, is right. America is in the last days of the Roman Empire. This is Sodom and Gomorrah, where we're celebrating the worst of the worst, the most soulless stuff in America. And here's the best way to put it. America is founded on God, family, country, work ethic, rugged individualism, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Ten Commandments, the Golden Rule, and law and order, where evil and violent criminals are punished and extracted from society one way or the other, and where good, hardworking, honest, law-abiding citizens are rewarded with safe streets and neighborhoods. Thanks to the heroes of law enforcement and their families, first responders, firefighters, and the heroes of the U.S. military that live by their sacred oath to the Constitution. So I am heartbroken and shattered, Keith, right here on the Nightly Nugent. And by the way, everybody should join me at the Ted Nugent Real America's Voice Spirit Campfire, where I elaborate. And the elaborations of these observations are cringeworthy, to say the least. I'm afraid that the tyrant in charge of Russia, as he attacks the failures and the crimes of American leadership, he's right. My president is wrong.
Well, so very sobering edition of the Nightly Nuge. But I appreciate your insight as always, Ted. Boy, I got another doozy for you tomorrow night, Ted. Taxpayer dollars just getting burned up down on the southern border. We'll talk about that tomorrow night right here on the Nightly Nuge, where there's absolutely no fake news.
Pray for America.